show that I was very excited about. This one is called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is a delightful show that brings together so many old things but with a freshness that you would not expect. Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is an animated show based on Disney's Marvel Spider-Man. This is a very different take on the usual Spider-Man. It starts off with Peter going to high school, and that's where something happens. I do not want to get into spoilers, but there are a lot of beautiful surprises here. I'm not kidding. There are some, okay, no, I'm not gonna say it. There are a few cameos. I'm not gonna say which ones, but all of those are extremely interesting. Coming down to the storytelling, or let me just start off with the level of animation.
Hey, Petey's always been a bit clumsy.
Right from the title sequence to the overall show, this is a beautifully created and crafted show because the level of animation is that much more detailed while keeping it slightly retro and nostalgic. So it's very close to comics. It almost feels like that you've opened a page from the comic book because it has a almost 2D effect to it. Yes, because there are gonna be frames and stills in the show which will want to give you that feel that you are actually watching, you know, just that frame and a comic and there is no motion on it.
Help! Mr. Campbell,
Feel like a still from a comic book. That's the way it's been done. The depth is there, but then the way the depth has been created is almost how you create depth in comic books. So it's 2D, but giving you a 3D layer within the 2D frame. That's why it's so unique and so beautiful. I loved that entire bit about it. There are so many directorial brilliances. Is that even a word? There are a lot of brilliant moments from a directorial standpoint. Moments and frames where there is, like I said, a still frame, but then you have a split screen view of either two geographical locations or two parts to that page. They're moving through one frame into the other. So it's almost like a panel of comic, and then Peter is walking and then moving from one panel into the other. It's almost like a continuous take, but it moves through panels. Beautifully done.
You're gonna be late.
sorry, man, I'm up!
There's an entire sequence like this in episode 8, if I'm not wrong, which took my heart away completely. Another aspect where I want to give full marks is the voice acting of Peter Parker by Hudson Thames. It is fantastic. It is just pitch perfect. The way his voice modulation works, he just sounds like Peter Parker. He sounds like Spider-Man. It is just uncanny how perfect he sounds. So a great voice casting there for Peter Parker. Another thing that I really loved was the overall narrative and the surprises. And now it's very difficult for me to talk about why I loved the narrative without talking about the surprises, but I'm still going to try. So you think that you know where this is going, but there is a sense of unpredictability every now and then. It may not be a huge moment where you go, oh my God. It's not a hair pulling sort of a moment, except for maybe the finale where I almost did pull my hair, and hence it looks like this. But yeah, I just finished watching Spider-Man, so
I truly
the overall storytelling is beautifully done. I think there is a slight drop in the overall structure of this season because it starts off very, very strong. The first 2 episodes are extremely strong and you are pulled in because one of those unexpected moments happens right up front on how Peter Parker becomes Spider-Man, and you will not guess this one. Episode 4, 5 and 6, there is a slight bit of drop. Not too much is happening. It feels slightly repetitive, especially one of those episodes where Peter is trying out different suits. As soon as episode 6 is about to end, then 7, 8, 9 and 10, you kind of realize that it pretty much hits hard when it needs to. There are a couple more surprises spread across the season, and hence it keeps things interesting. I loved how hard-hitting it was towards the end as well. I wasn't even expecting that. So that came as a slight bit of surprise. We are getting really violent and people are getting hurt. That was a nice layer which added a unexpected depth and maturity to this show, which otherwise can tend to feel like it's made for kids, especially because of the way it's been animated and colored. It's bright and, you know, it's all sunshine and rainbows at times, you feel. And Peter is one of the comic Peters where he's continuously joking around, especially even when he's fighting, So it does tend to get funny as well.
Our next victim in his dumbass costume. Is my suit really that bad? Ouch.
But it is overall a lot of fun. It is very engaging and I loved it almost from start to finish, barring those 2 episodes that I spoke of. Another aspect which I feel is going to be big in the next season, it was explored a little bit here, but not as much, is the whole emotional angle to the set of characters. There is a slight bit of exploration done with Peter for sure, because obviously you can't ignore the emotions that he's going through, but his relationships with his closest friends, his relationship with Aunt May and a few other people. I really feel that this is going to be one of the big elements going into next season, because there are definite hints for that. You see that with Lonnie, you see that with Pearl, and you see that with Nico and a few others. Whatever was shown here was really nice and very relatable.
You may not be excused from said test. Ah, nice of you to join us.
That's another aspect of this, that it is very relatable in, for the most part, in terms of that all the non-superhero aspects of it are very relatable. So him going to college, him being how he is, his friends reacting a certain way on the events that happen is all very relatable. There is nobody who's on a high horse, nobody has a hero complex and things like that, and that is a definite feather in the cap for this show. Now coming down to the things that people didn't like, it's only hypothetical, I can only guess. There are certain things, certain liberties taken to change some core elements here. The ethnicities of Osborn, Harry Osborn, as well as his father, have been changed. You have also changed the friendship dynamics with Peter Parker, and hence there are people who are not very happy with this entire change. I have said this before and I am saying this again. I have no problem in people trying out different things, because if you do not try, new things will never happen. And if you try something, commit to it fully. So here it is committed to, and I really did not see a problem in this. I get the fact that they want to show inclusivity, and yes, I know a lot of people didn't like it because they felt that it was inclusivity for the sake of inclusivity, but then again, not wanting to hurt any sentiments, but where do you start off?
Gotcha! I thought it was Dan me.
Start off. Still a fan of the show, still a fan of the superhero, and I really enjoyed it. Overall, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is a must watch. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, you should be watching this. If you're a fan of Marvel and overall superhero genre, you should be watching this. It is a very different take from the Spider-Verse series. The frames, the panels, and how it comes across on the television, it was beautiful to watch. Highly recommend your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Go watch it. It's streaming on Jio Hotstar now. For anybody else, it would be streaming on any Disney channel where every other Marvel show is available. Highly recommend this. If you can ignore one or two of those changes that have been done in the storyline, I can really vouch for this show. You will enjoy it. This is Filmy Fool. I will continue to bring things that I loved and recommend things that I think you should be watching. Until next time, take care, like, share and subscribe, guys. Very important. Have a good one.